Why the devil wanted Moses' body. The dispute over Moses' body mentioned in Jude 1:9 is one of the most mysterious events in biblical theology. The passage states, "But Michael the archangel, when he disputed with the devil and argued about the body of Moses, did not dare pronounce against him a railing judgment, but said, 'The Lord rebuke you.'" Jude 1:9, NASB. This verse suggests that there was a supernatural conflict over Moses' body between Michael, the archangel, and Satan. Although the Bible does not explicitly state why the devil wanted Moses' body, several theological interpretations provide insight into this event. Moses was a central figure in Israel's history, a prophet, leader, lawgiver, and mediator between God and his people. His life ended in a unique way, as described in Deuteronomy 34, 5 through 6. So Moses, the servant of the Lord, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of the Lord, and he buried him in the valley in the land of Moab, opposite Beth Peor, but no one knows his burial place to this day. Unlike other biblical figures whose burial sites were known, Moses' grave was divinely hidden. This fact alone suggests that God had a special purpose for keeping his body undisclosed, and it could explain why Satan attempted to claim it. Satan's desire to corrupt God's plan. Moses was one of the greatest leaders in Israel's history, chosen by God to deliver the Israelites from Egyptian bondage and receive the law on Mount Sinai. Since Satan has always sought to oppose God's plans, it is possible that he wanted to use Moses' body to undermine God's work. If he had control over the body, he might have attempted to deceive the Israelites, perhaps by leading them into idolatry or distorting the legacy of Moses in a way that served his own agenda. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting this idea is Moses' appearance during the transfiguration of Jesus in Matthew 17, 1 through 3. "And behold, Moses and Elijah appeared to them, talking with him." This event demonstrates that Moses had an ongoing spiritual role beyond his earthly life. If Satan had succeeded in taking his body, he might have attempted to prevent this future event, thereby interfering with God's divine purposes. Preventing resurrection or future use. Some theologians believe that Satan wanted to claim Moses' body to prevent its future role in God's divine plan. Moses appears alongside Elijah during the transfiguration of Jesus, Matthew 17, 1 to 3, which could imply that he had a special role in the afterlife. If Satan could take possession of Moses' body, he might have sought to prevent this or to interfere with God's plans for Moses in the future. Deception and idolatry. One of the most likely reasons Satan wanted Moses' body was to use it as a tool for deception. The Israelites had already shown a tendency to worship physical objects, most notably the golden calf, Exodus 32. If they had access to Moses' body, they might have venerated it, turning it into a religious relic or even an object of worship, much like other ancient cultures that practiced ancestor veneration. Satan, as the father of lies, John 8:44, could have exploited Moses' body to lead the Israelites into idolatry, distracting them from their devotion to God. This would align with his broader goal of corrupting the faith of God's people. Satan's legal claim over death. Another perspective is that Satan may have believed he had a legal right to Moses' body because of his influence over death in the grave. In Hebrews 2:14, it is stated that, "Since therefore the children share in flesh and blood, he himself likewise partook of the same things, that through death he might destroy the one who has the power of death, that is, the devil." Before Christ's victory over sin and death, Satan had some degree of authority in the realm of death. He may have claimed Moses' body as his rightful possession, arguing that because Moses was a sinner, he was barred from entering the promised land due to disobedience in Numbers 20:12. His body belonged under the dominion of death. However, the intervention of Michael the Archangel demonstrates that Moses' destiny was in God's hands, not Satan's. A reflection of the greater cosmic battle. The battle over Moses' body also serves as a symbol of the ongoing spiritual warfare between God's forces and the forces of evil. The fact that Michael does not rebuke Satan himself, but instead invokes the authority of God, "The Lord rebuke you," is significant. It underscores a key biblical theme. Victory over Satan is achieved not by human or angelic power, but by God's authority. Satan is a defeated foe who can challenge God's plans, but cannot ultimately thwart them. This passage mirrors other instances of spiritual conflict in Scripture, such as Daniel 10:13, where Michael is engaged in battle with demonic forces, Revelation 12:7-9, where Michael and his angels cast Satan out of heaven. Thus, the dispute over Moses' body may represent a larger struggle between good and evil, reflecting Satan's ongoing attempts to oppose God's redemptive plan. The mystery of Moses' resurrection. Some scholars have proposed that Moses may have been resurrected after his death. The primary argument for this theory is his appearance with Elijah during the Transfiguration. Unlike Moses, Elijah never died. He was taken to heaven in a chariot of fire. 2 Kings 2:11. If Moses also appeared in bodily form, some believe that God may have resurrected him in a special way. If this were the case, then Satan's attempt to claim Moses' body could have been an effort to prevent this unique resurrection, just as he later sought to oppose the resurrection of Christ. While this view is speculative, it aligns with the idea that Moses had a special role in God's future plans, one that Satan sought to disrupt. The devil's attempt to take Moses' body is a reminder of the ongoing cosmic battle between good and evil. Whether Satan sought to use it for deception, idolatry, or interference with God's plan, his efforts were ultimately futile. Michael's successful defense of Moses' body underscores that God has ultimate authority over life, death, and his people. This passage encourages believers to trust in God's power and to resist the devil's schemes, knowing that victory belongs to the Lord.